Good afternoon, this is Pete from figlife.com, and today I'm going to look at this fig here in my hand called Petite Négrier. This is a Violet de Bordeaux type fig, and it's one that can be very tasty. It doesn't have quite as many splitting issues as the actual Violet de Bordeaux fig. So let's take a closer look at Petite Négrier. All right, I'm going to look at a tree called Petite Négrier. I have it right back here. So this is it. It's in a 10-gallon pot. I've had it for several years. I put it in a larger pot. Normally I keep my figs in a 5-gallon pot, but I put this variety in a larger pot because it is one that I liked quite a bit. And so I went ahead and put it in a larger pot. You can see it's producing a lot of figs. It's got this leaf shape here, which is pretty characteristic of a Violet de Bordeaux type. Kind of a shiny leaf with pointy fingers on it. Really a nice green color. You can see that shininess on it, like it's well, shiny. And kind of like let's see, about five fingers on it. So this is a pretty typical leaf shape of a Violet de Bordeaux type fig. And this fig looks pretty characteristic of that type of variety as well. It'll often have a purple sort of hue to it. It'll have this sort of shape, and then when they swell up, you know, they get this dark purple color, and they stay pretty hard even when they're ripe. So this one's probably pretty close to ripe, even though it's still pretty hard. So yeah, this tree's growing really well and producing a fair amount of fruit. I've got quite a bit of fruit off this. I had a little bit of issue with spoilage because it rained a lot. So this is more rain resistant in my opinion than Violet de Bordeaux, Petite Négrier is, but it's not completely rain resistant. That is to say, it still has some issues. And I'm trying another one this year called Black Crimean that I'm hopeful may be even more resistant to rain than Petite Négrier. So far, I'm having really good success with Black Crimean. I think that's also a Violet de Bordeaux type, but Petite Négrier is good, no doubt, and so that's why I'm growing it. So let's go take a look at the fruit. I just picked a couple of the fruits that looked ripe to me. Today I'm going to look at this variety here called Petite Négrier, and it's one that can taste really good. It's a Violet de Bordeaux type. I grow this instead of Violet de Bordeaux because Violet de Bordeaux has a lot of issues splitting in the rain. The eye splits open, and I just have a terrible time getting Violet de Bordeaux to ripen here. It's supposed to be a really good fig, really good tasting fig, but I just don't know how people grow it on the East Coast in rainy climates because it is one of the worst splitters for me in the rain. I don't know how, again, I just don't know how people grow it here because I just can't get any figs off of it. So after a couple years of trying, I gave up on Violet de Bordeaux and I started searching for a Violet de Bordeaux type that is a fig that had a similar flavor as Violet de Bordeaux, but didn't have the same splitting issues. And one of the figs that I've kind of settled upon is this fig here called Petite Négrier. And you can tell it's not perfect. I mean, it's got some, you can see some splitting there. But this is stuff that I can kind of live with because it doesn't spoil quite as badly as when the eye splits open. And you can see a little bit, the same sort of thing on this one, just a little bit of cracking there. Maybe splitting is not the right word, but cracking. But you can see how the eye though is not splitting open. And so that's a key improvement over the actual Violet de Bordeaux fig. So these look to be pretty good. It's kind of hard to tell when these are ripe because they stay pretty firm. They don't get really soft. So it can be kind of hard to tell when these are ripe. But I think you know, based on the cracking that I'm seeing here and just kind of a gut feel, I think that these figs are ripe. But I'll have a much better idea once I cut these open. So let me go ahead and cut this one open here, and then I'll have a better idea if I pick these too early or not. Okay, all right. Hey, this is looking good. So look at that. So that looks to be ripe enough. It probably could have tasted better with a little bit more time, but that looks to be fully ripe. I think I can call that fully ripe. I think that's beyond the point of being underripe. So that is really encouraging, and I think that's going to taste really good. Let me get a photo of this, and then I'll cut this other one open. All right, I'm back. I got my photo of Violet de Bordeaux. Here's the leaf. And go ahead and cut open this second fig here. So this one looked like it might not be quite as ripe as the other one. And since the other one was just barely ripe enough, I don't know if this one will be fully ripe. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. Okay, this looks okay actually. Yeah, so there we go. So that's looking pretty good. And I'll just give a close-up of this one too. So you can see how nice that looks, nice and juicy there. Let me just take a couple more photos. Boy, it's really hot here. You know, August in August in the mid-Atlantic, it's just best you can hope for is that it's just not raining. I think is it. Okay, let me cut these up into quarters. All right, so let me try that. That is looking really nice. Just a nice meaty sort of look to the inside of that fig. It looks really nice. Let me go ahead and try this. All right, good flavor. Probably could have used maybe another day or two to really bring out the flavor. Okay, that had a nice sort of sweetness to it. Almost, you know, Violet de Bordeaux can have some more complex flavors than a typical, certainly than like a Hearty Chicago type or something like that. And I almost taste like some blackberry type flavors in there. It's not super sweet. There's a lot more berry flavor in there than there is sweetness. But it's not, sometimes when a fig's not very sweet, it just doesn't taste like much of anything. In this case, that's not true. There are some flavors in here, berry flavors, not strawberry, but some other types of berry flavors. And yet it's just not that sweet, because maybe it was a little too much water. Maybe it wasn't quite ripe enough. I'm not really sure, but it is a good taste. It's a really good taste. It's just not real sweet for me right now. Yeah, almost like some blackberry type flavor in there or something. So, you know, this is one that I like. You can see here how nice the texture is of this. I mean, it's just a really solid fig. So this one looks like it's more well ripened over here. So this might taste a little sweeter actually. Yeah, a little bit. I think it really just needed maybe another 2 days or so. So I'll probably leave those ones that were on the tree that I was saying are probably almost ripe. I'll probably just leave those on there a little bit longer and see how that affects the flavor. But yeah, really good Violet de Bordeaux type. You know, this is like sort of like Violet de Bordeaux without the significant splitting issues that occur in the rain with that fig. So much so that I just can't even recommend that people grow it here, because it's just the problem is you just can't ripen any figs. They just all spoil. All right, so that was Petite Negri. Really good. You know, I just enjoy that eating that fig so much. It's just such good flavor to it. Sometimes you get overwhelmed or tired with just eating those super sweet figs all the time. So it's nice to have one that just had a nice berry flavor without the sweetness that was just punching you in the face. So that's nice. So that was Petite Negri. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit subscribe and check out my website, www.figlife.com. Thanks.